Howdy, folks. Welcome to the basement. We're going to have a little bit of a natural science discussion here. I recently became aware that the population of ants on Earth is estimated by scientists at about 20 quadrillion. That's 2.5 million ants for every man, woman, and child on the planet. Those ants represent about two-thirds of the biomass of all insects, and their weight is equal to about the weight of two of the pyramids of Giza, and is equal to about 20% of the weight of all of us. You might wonder what this has to do with fly tying down in the basement, and I hope to explain that to you. With, 20 quadrillion of them out there, it's quite likely that more than a few of them are going to find their way into your local trout stream. Yet further, it seems that not only are they present and abundant and weighty, I've read more than once that trout like to eat ants. I don't know, that strikes me as being kind of more than a little anthropomorphic, but it's also true that creatures, mammals from shrews all the way up to grizzlies, will eat ants with relish or avidly, however you choose to put that. I doubt that they have mustard or ketchup or pickle relish, but you get what I mean. Anyway, the problem is, how do you imitate an ant? I've seen things through the years that were complex and difficult and probably awkward as well. I don't doubt that they worked, but I recently became aware that a fellow named Ken Walrath has developed a fly that he calls Ken's Krazy Ant. It's brick simple to tie and extraordinarily realistic. So when we're done here, we'll pause the video for a bit. I'll set things up a little differently, and we'll create a Ken's Krazy Ant. Here's a close-up look at a Ken's Krazy Ant in the vise. It's a brilliant set of materials or use of materials, and very simple to tie, as I said. Very realistic from any angle, particularly from the bottom. Look at that thing. I mean, if that doesn't look like an ant crawling away. How Mr. Walrath got onto this material is something that impresses me, and I'd like to know more about that. The material is this drawer liner, this foam drawer liner that you buy in big rolls and sheets and so on. Then from that point, you can see that we're cutting off the length of it, trimming either side to get something that looks like that. Then you'll see that when we carefully get our fingers together and pull gently and slowly, we'll create a little piece that seems to have antennae on either end. So we'll use that to create a fresh Ken's Krazy Ant. Let's get a new hook of the vise. This hook is a Firehall Outdoors 419 in size 16. I like this hook for this fly because a Tiemco 100 is an awfully nice hook, but the shank length on a size 16 is just slightly longer than this, and an 18 Tiemco is a little bit small. So this comes in, the shank length here seems to come in at about 16 and a half, which is just ideal. Our thread is Vivus 12-aught. I like the fine, usually I use pretty stout threads when I'm working with any kind of foam, but in this case, even though it's foam, there's not much there, and we don't want to add any unnecessary weight to the fly. So we'll cover the shank with thread, come to about the 1/3 forward point, take our body material, center it on the hook front to back and side to side and so on, snug it down, and kind of, you have to manipulate it a little bit as you go to make sure you stay on top. You also have to make sure that you get plenty firm wraps so that it doesn't twist later. Make a little band. This is, I guess, anatomically a gaster. This is abdomen, this is thorax in science terms. Mr. Walrath has tied this as essentially as a flying ant. So we've got about a half a skein of white Zelon here that we'll start. We'll draw that back and tie it in. And then we'll trim that about the overall length. I say flying ant, and you do see big mating flights of ants on the water occasionally, but more often you just see a little ant. Uh, so this is not terribly visible from the bottom. I don't think it bothers the ant, and it serves as sort of a cider for you. The last element here is hackle. Mr. Walrath recommended grizzly for this. I like black. So we have this really nice whiting 100 pack of black and size 16 hackle here. We'll tie that in, advance our thread a little bit. We'll take about 3 turns of hackle. Capture that with a couple of turns of thread. Manipulating around the camera sometimes causes some awkward movement here. Trim that away. Come up forward here to finish off the fly with a whip finish. Then another departure from Mr. Walrath's original for me is I like to trim the hackle flat on the bottom. I like to get this down on the water. And I think it helps it to land flatter each and every time too, to be shaped like that. Then, as is almost always true with anything foam, I like to get some cyanoacrylate glue in there. We'll get just a dot of glue, just the very smallest amount possible here against the gaster on the bottom side here. There we are. Seat that in. And there we have it. Look at the profile that thing presents. Isn't that amazing? I urge you to give this a try. It's a simple, easy, straightforward fly to tie. You can pick up the materials at any of the home owning stores, the Kmart's, the Walmarts of the world, Target, places like that. Give it a whirl. I hope you like it.